Welcome to this introduction to ethical theory. What I'd like to do in this first lecture is to try to answer the question, why study ethical theory? In the process of addressing this question, I will need to discuss what is ethics, what is a moral argument, and what is theory. Though all of you have at some time or other engaged in moral arguments, our plan here is to be much more self-conscious about moral argumentation than is common. This self-consciousness will enable us to analyze moral arguments and claims. The aim of this course is not to teach you ethics, but rather to teach you the strengths and weaknesses of various ethical arguments and claims, and so to enable you to better argue for your ethical views. So why study ethical theory? There is no difficulty in understanding why we should study ethics. Ethics is about our fundamental values, choices, and ideals. Everyone confronts in small or great moments questions about what is good, what is the right thing to do, what is fair. We might want or need to understand whether some particular case of abortion or war or economic inequality is ethical. But why should that interest lead us to look at ethical theory? You can certainly be a good car driver without knowing the physics of the internal combustion engine. Why do we need to study ethical theory in order to understand ethics? Perhaps the immediate and obvious response to this question is to say that it is the job of ethical theory to explain ethics. If we want to understand why deception is wrong, why is human life valuable, why should we require informed consent prior to any medical procedure, then we need to look to the theory that underlies these and similar claims. Since ethics is an important part of our life and how we relate to other people, studying ethical theory can yield a better understanding of this important aspect of our lives. Understanding the reasons for our ethical judgment is important in another way. Ethics, especially in the context of a profession, is fundamentally tied to justification. Even if a decision feels ethically right, we will often not feel comfortable with that decision unless we can justify it, at least to ourselves. When an ethical judgment is about a public matter, say you support a particular public policy regarding the allocation of human organs, or you object to the ethics of a particular research study, your aim is to persuade others that your ethical judgment is correct. How do we justify an ethical judgment? Typically, when we justify an ethical belief, decision, or action, we are at least implicitly appealing to a particular ethical theory. And criticizing an ethical judgment often consists in finding fault with the underlying ethical theory. Another reason for studying ethical theory, our ethical beliefs should not be seen as some sort of collection of separate islands in which one has little to do with the other. Rather, our ethical beliefs are interconnected. Our ethical beliefs regarding abortion, for example, might constrain, if not severely restrict, our ethical beliefs regarding vegetarianism, or it might constrain our ethical judgments regarding stem cell research. By studying ethical theory, we can see how apparently very different ethical beliefs are connected, how our accepting one can affect our other ethical commitments. This leads to another reason for studying ethical theory. It can help us construct or revise our ethical views as we learn more about possible challenges or objections to various ideas.